Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy Corpse. Saying that, it's your boy Cool Gaming TV, and let's get into True Christmas Horror Story Animated. The following video contains graphic, mature content that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised. Ooh, you can hear it.
I hate Christmas.
Dang, you sound like the
I
Grinch.
hate it with the most malice intentions ever.
Why?
As a matter of fact, the thought of Christmas makes my skin crawl.
Aww.
I wasn't like this before. I used to cherish the holiday tradition, but all of that's changed now.
Why?
It all started a couple years back when I was 26 years old. It was holidays, so Christmas was around the corner while festivities were in full effect. Hey, I'm on my way to pick you up.
I'm excited to go Christmas shopping.
Hey, you
Yeah,
got a little
me too.
girly on the
Me
side.
and my girlfriend Emma had dated since high school, so
Ooh.
the bond that we shared was something most couples couldn't fathom, to say the least.
Alright.
I decided to propose to Emma on Christmas.
Emma,
Figured
get a
I couldn't go wrong
proposal?
on such a monumental occasion. I remember
Alright.
it being a snowy evening when me and Emma went to
Snowy?
the mall to do some holiday Christmas shopping.
Nice.
The mall was bombarded with more shoppers than usual as there was a holiday sale going on in almost every store. I remember being in
That's
need of
good.
a festive outfit for my parents' upcoming Christmas party as my wardrobe lacked the attire. I decided to check out the clothing store Forever 21 as I could see they had a wide variety of selection from first glance. I picked out an array of various Christmas sweaters and headed to the fitting room while my girlfriend waited outside for me. Oh yeah, fits way better than my dad's lame hand-me-downs. Hey babe, how does this look? I noticed my girlfriend Emma wasn't there. I
Oh.
figured she must have gone back into the store to look at more clothes. As I left the changing room, I noticed from the corner of my eye that Emma was outside the store waiting in a huge line for something. I ended up purchasing one of the sweaters and began to approach Emma. Hey babe, why'd you leave me hanging in the fitting room?
I wanted to line up and take a picture with him.
Emma, this line is
Ooh.
huge. I'll just dress up as Santa later and you can take a picture of me.
He's not Santa, though.
I
Huh?
looked towards the direction of where the lineup began and realized that there were two separate lineups. One lineup was for a professionally taken photo with the mall Santa. The other lineup was for a picture with a man dressed as the Grinch.
Okay, the
We were
Grinch.
unfortunately in the lineup for the Grinch as Emma was a pretty big fan of the character. I
Yeah.
personally found the whole ordeal bizarre considering he didn't have any professional setup like how the mall Santa had. No platform, no chair, no professional photographer, no elf services, just him and the bench he sat on. I assumed he was one of those street performers that just dressed up for donations, except there was no tip jar or anything that would allow guests to donate in.
Whoa.
Emma, this guy looks kinda sus. Can we just leave?
Yeah, bruh, he's
Please
sus.
just relax, Henry. It'll only take a couple of minutes.
I decided to bite my tongue and proceed with Emma's request as
Don't
there
bite
was
your
nothing
tongue,
I
that
could have
joint
said that
hurts.
could convince her otherwise.
That joint hurts.
As we got closer to the front of the lineup, I could visibly see the Grinch's eyes light up with exhilaration, almost like I brought a sense of enthusiasm into his day. I
Dang.
decided to be ballsy and lock eyes with him, just to express more of my alpha male side towards this weirdo. As the line gradually progressed, I realized that he wasn't making eye contact with me, he was looking at my girlfriend Emma. It was blatantly obvious he had an interest in my girlfriend due to the lack of attention he was giving others taking photos with him. What the hell is this guy's problem? Why is he checking out my girlfriend?
Fish roll, risotto, buffalo, gelato, curry, cacciatore, chimichurri, fried turkey.
Skip.
We eventually reached the front of the line and approached the Grinch to take a three-way selfie with my cell phone. Hey, buddy, the girl gets a picture first. Dude, that's my girlfriend. I said, get behind the girl, kid.
Wait, nah. Nah, just
Another
punch that
beautiful
dude.
hoe.
What did you
What?
just call me?
I mean, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. What's your name, little girl?
My name is Emma.
Ooh, what a beautiful name to match such a beautiful face. Why don't you come here and sit on Daddy's lap? Dude, what the hell is
Whoa.
your problem? Back off, loser. She wants a picture with me, not you.
He's my boyfriend. Don't talk to him like that.
Sit on my lap and be a good girl, Emma, or else Santa won't give you any presents this year. I'm putting on my
Smack
knowledge,
him.
little brat.
Smack
That's when we
him.
decided to head home. I
Smack
remember
him,
dropping off my
bruh.
girlfriend at her place and then heading home to assist my parents in prepping
No.
for the Christmas party the following night. My parents were really old school and put a
Oh
lot of
no,
effort into decorating
guys.
the household, especially during festive holidays like this. Later that night, I remember making myself a glass of hot chocolate spiked with a little bit of my dad's whiskey. I sat by the fireplace and enjoyed the fire-crackling ambience while casually sipping on my drink. Figured I couldn't go wrong with that on a warm Christmas Eve.
Whoa. That don't sound good.
I remember hearing my cell phone ringing throughout the night. I recall being so intoxicated I couldn't see nor hear anything distinctively. Everything was blurry. It felt virtually impossible to move any fiber of my body, almost like I was stuck in a subconscious state of sleep paralysis. I began to close my eyes and doze off again. A couple hours later, I recall a voice whispering my name.
Hey, Henry. Henry, wake up. Hello, wake up, you little drunk. It's me, Santa.
I could vaguely see the outline of a man that looked like a Santa figure standing in front of me. Bear in mind, I was still in a groggy and incoherent state of mind, so making out the gentleman's minuscule facial features was almost an impossible endeavor to comprehend.
Hey, Henry, I brought you a Christmas present.
Dad, is that you?
Henry, listen. I want you to open up this Christmas gift first when you wake up. Do you understand me?
Yeah, Dad, sir.
I'm going to leave it right here in the middle of the Christmas tree, okay?
Okay.
Anyways, Merry Christmas, Henry.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Time to go to sleep again, Henry.
A couple hours later, I get awoken by the light from the living room window illuminating on my face. I realized I'd blacked out due to the spiked concoction I'd whipped up the previous night. I checked my cell phone.
Here. Hey, I remember.
Syrup sandwiches and caramelawitous, Vanessa Ninja with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this.
Parmesan where my accountant lives, in fact I'm down in this. Loosely with
And realized that I had about 10 missed calls and over 100 missed texts from Emma. I opened the text messages, only to see the text reading,
Hey, is that you? Are you inside my place? This isn't funny, Henry.
and so on and so forth. What I found more disturbing was the last batch of messages, which read,
I knew you were going to propose all along.
Merry Christmas, Henry.
It just kept repeating, over and over again. I began calling Emma's cell phone and only got her voicemail. That's
She
when I
gone,
closed
bro.
my eyes and began recollecting the imagery of what transpired last night. I could vaguely recall someone dressed as Santa and leaving a present underneath the Christmas tree. That's when I noticed a box that looked out of place from the rest of the presents. I took the box and opened it, only to discover a severed hand. The hand had a message on it which read, "Marry me."
Oh no. Rest in peace.
Girl gets a picture first.
Dude, that's my girl.
Bruh, wow. Alright, this next one is called True Creepy Horror Story Animated. Oh, True Creep Horror Story Animated.
This is a true story from when I was 18 years old.
Okay,
It still
18.
creeps me out just thinking about it. It all started when I was heading home from my friend Jason's house. It
Jason.
was about 3 a.m. in the morning, so it was pretty dark outside. I was walking towards a bus stop to catch the blue night bus that ran during after hours. My friend didn't really reside within a significant area was more or less closer to the downtown region. That meant there were a lot of random weirdos strolling around the streets, which definitely made me a little uncomfortable to say the least.
Alright.
Uncomfortable, I have to sleep out here. I decided to wait inside the glass shelter of a nearby bus stop as I regretted my decision to take the bus this late at night as opposed to just calling an Uber. I couldn't help but notice the dozens of flyers stuck up on the glass of the shelter. They were scattered everywhere, all varying from different things like job postings, rooms for rent, that kind of thing. There was this one flyer that really caught my attention.
What was
It was
it?
a picture of an older gentleman doing a peace gesture with his left hand. The title of the posting was called, Easy $300 in One Day, Call Me. I decided to read further into the flyer as the thought of making an easy $300 in one day seemed
I'm
like
not
a
doing
bargain
that.
one couldn't refuse.
I wouldn't do that.
The description which read, if you are looking to make a quick $300, then you've come to the right place. This job entails the assistance of cleaning/chores for a period of 12 hours. Call my cell phone and the details provided below if you're interested. Regards, Philippe. I was a part-time college student, so any extra money would have definitely been beneficial. I decided to take a plunge at the opportunity, so I took a picture of the flyer as I see a night bus arriving towards my...
Daryl?
Hey, Cardi B!
Did you just attack my village in Queen Master?
Yeah?
Let me tell you something.
My stop. As I boarded the bus, I refrained from calling the job posting as I didn't want to wake the employer up, so I ultimately decided to text the number instead. My text read, hello, please contact this number as I am interested in the job presented in your flyer. About 10 seconds later after sending the text, I get a call from an unknown number. I assume it was the guy in the job posting, so I answer it. Hello? A man answered back, hey, you interested in the job? Is this Philippe from the $300 a day posting? Yes it is. What's your name, kid? I'm John, sir. How are you? He completely disregards my question and says, you mind coming over right now, kid? Sir, it's kinda late for that. Can we do tomorrow? Kid, listen. I know it's very late at night, but both my wife and grandma are sick, so I could use a helping hand as soon as possible. I felt really uncomfortable knowing this guy was trying to guilt trip me into coming over to his house. Mind you, it was approximately 3 a.m. in the morning, which made the thought of going that much more absurd. I tell him, sir, if we can arrange this for tomorrow, it would be much more convenient for me. Kid, John, listen. If you come right now, I will pay you double. $600. Take it or leave it.
Leave
Whether
it!
the man was bribing me or not, I unwisely took the bait. I ended up saying, I'm on my way. I'll be there in about a half an hour, while simultaneously getting off the bus to call an Uber. I ended up getting dropped off at the address provided within the flyer and immediately began second-guessing my decision. While standing in front of the house, I get a call on my cell phone. It was from an unknown number again. I answer it and say, hello? Hey, Johnny, can you see me? No, sir. Where are you? Look at the window. I'm looking at it, but I don't see you, sir. Look a bit closer. I'm looking dead at you. Where, sir? I get startled by a firm grasp on my shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to scare you. I thought you could see my reflection in the window. Anyways, please allow me to show you inside my house. Thank you, Philippe. You can call me Creep.
What?
Why would I call you Creep? It's a nickname. All my friends call me, so I'd appreciate it if you did the same. Okay, Philippe. I mean, Creep.
No, you're not my friend.
Let me show you inside, John. We end up going inside, and I can't help but notice the amount of dolls laying around his house.
Oh, no.
Have you done ballet before?
I used to be a stripper.
Bruh, Cardi B and all the
It
ads,
honestly
yo.
looked like he was a hoarder that had an obsession over dolls. I decided to ask him, why do you have so many dolls? It's just a collection that I've accumulated from my childhood. Aren't they precious, John? I've built a special bond with these guys. I'll never feel alone again, you know?
Whoa.
At this point, I was
Again.
convinced that the name Creep was actually his biological name due to the creepy vibes he was giving off. I see. Well, what exactly does this job entail? Well, for starters, my grandma and wife are unfortunately ill, so I have to take care of them since they're in bed all the time. If you don't mind me asking, what's wrong with them? Well, my grandma has Parkinson's, so she's unable to function without my assistance. My wife sadly got into a tragic car accident after her dance rehearsal. She's pretty much paralyzed in her legs and can't walk, so I now have to take care of her as well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She was so beautiful before the accident. I'm unbelievably lucky to be with such a beauty like her. We got married and had about 100 people there. It was the best wedding ever. Sorry if I'm getting carried away. No worries. What would you like me to do for now?
Said
We can
alone
start
again.
by vacuuming the house. Just don't go inside the bedrooms, because that's going to disturb my grandma and wife's sleep. A couple minutes later, I begin vacuuming the hallway upstairs. The bedroom doors were slightly open, so I could vaguely view the inside of it. I remember seeing a glimpse of a woman sleeping on a bed, which I assumed to be his wife. It was unfortunate to see her like that, as she was quite beautiful from what I was able to see. I noticed the man was in the other bedroom having a conversation with his grandma, so I continued vacuuming without drawing too much attention towards his direction.
Alright, smart.
Are you okay? The next part of the story is what sends chills down my spine.
Alright, what is
The
it?
man asked me to put the vacuum down and meet his grandma. As I approach the inside of the bedroom, I see a creepy life-size doll laying on the bed. I unhesitatingly ask him, where's your grandma? John, don't be rude. This is my grandma. I felt my heart fall to my stomach when he said that. I honestly...
That's some Annabelle type stuff. Not even gonna lie, guys.
wanted to get the hell out of there. I didn't want to potentially put my life in danger, so I just went along with it and said, nice to meet you. He then said, my grandma thinks you're really handsome and you should come over more often. Sure, I'll definitely come over more often. My grandma wants me to grab her some McDonald's. Why don't you continue vacuuming the place while I do that?
You better leave once you get that McDonald's.
Here's your $600. Thanks for being with us.
Alright.
Yeah, no problem. I then continue vacuuming the hallway as the man exits the house. I need to get the hell out of here. This guy is a psycho. As I dropped the vacuum on the floor, I peeked inside the bedroom of where the man's wife was sleeping. To be honest, I felt really skeptical about leaving her there, so I shouted, Ma'am, is everything okay? Can you hear me? Ma'am, are you okay? Can you hear me?
She's dead.
She honestly looked like she was heavily sedated off the meds I saw on top of the nightstand.
We gotta start.
I end up leaving.
No,
the
we
house
don't.
and catching an Uber.
Did she text you?
I eventually make it home and remember the man had gave me the $600.
Alright, bro. Let me just finish this video.
Online thrift shop curated by...
Thank God I made it out of there. At least I made an easy $600. I opened the envelope only to see 6 pieces of paper. Each piece had a poorly drawn face with $100 written on it. I shouted in anger, What the hell is this? I contemplated on giving the man a piece of my mind, but I honestly didn't want any further conflict with this psycho. Just before heading to bed that night, I got a call from an unknown number. It was quite obvious that it was the creep, so I ignored it and never looked back. It's been a couple months since that creepy experience. I haven't gotten any more calls from that unknown number since. I was strolling around with my phone one day when I got a notification that someone followed me on Instagram. I noticed it was the creep from the avatar picture on his profile. I was pretty freaked out that he was able to track me down since he only knew my first name and we haven't contacted each other since. I noticed he had only one post, so I clicked it. It was a picture of the woman and the creep on the same bed. She looked sedated while wearing a wedding veil. The creep had his arm around her while there were hundreds of dolls surrounding the two. The caption read, "The best wedding in audience ever." She was so beautiful before the accident. I'm unbelievably lucky to be with such a beauty like her. We got married and had about 100 people there. It was the best wedding ever.
So she dead. Alright, guys. We'll do one more. Isaiah, clean out the fridge and I'll wipe it down and I'll take out the bags and stuff. Alright, got you. So this one is called True OnlyFans Horror Story. Now, I have to watch Corey Kenson's new video, but I haven't watched it yet because
It still bothers me just thinking about it.
I was gonna do this
It
video,
happened a
so
while
yeah.
ago when I was working as a cashier at Starbucks.
Starbucks.
I worked part-time as there was unfortunately not enough hours available, so moving out of my parents' house wasn't the easiest endeavor to accomplish.
Okay, bro.
My parents always nagged at me for the latter part of the day, which always had me stressed out. They would always send
Hey, I'm gonna
subliminal
turn my phone
jabs
on. Do
alluding
not
to me moving
disturb.
out. I'll never forget the time my dad confronted me while I was doing laundry.
Laundry, what you washing?
You asked for a raise at work? I can't exactly do that, Dad. I'd probably get fired if I tried that. Well, can't you work somewhere else then? I'm gonna need your room soon, because I plan to make it Charlie's room. Charlie was my baby brother.
Alright,
Well,
baby
can't Charlie
brother.
stay in your room a little longer? I said I'm gonna need your room, damn it!
Shut up, bro.
Where
Don't
the
you?
hell am I supposed to stay then?
Yeah, where?
Figure it out. You've had plenty of time now. I've always avoided going home right after work, especially after confrontations like that. I would much rather procrastinate at work after my shift was done, just to avoid the inevitable arguments that awaited me. Sounded like a better deal anyway. It'd been a few weeks since the tense clash with my dad. My life had been a little bit more bearable since
Alright.
I started going to this local karaoke bar located down the street from my workplace.
I got you, yo.
I would make it a routine to go there after work just to instill a little more enthusiasm in my already dull life. I was a regular, so I knew all the employees on a first-name basis.
What you drinking tonight, hot stuff?
I'll get the usual, Sally.
Wait a minute. It's you again. Jason, right?
Yep, me again.
Good to see you again, Jason. One order coming right up.
Thanks, Sally. I really enjoyed coming here as it was the perfect place for guests to lounge with just a small admission fee.
That
The
dude
bar
creepy,
always had
bro.
live performances from various bands, so there was usually a decent-sized crowd always in attendance.
That dude standing beside you is creepy.
Here is the final performance.
Marmalade.
Please give it up for the lovely Katie.
Hey, Jake coming to the bar. Ooh.
I can't keep away.
Ah.
Are you listening? I want you to stay.
I'm listening. What?
She have the prettiest eyes.
Shut up, bro. You built like a deadbeat
Definitely a
potato.
gal. Katie had a lot of diehard fans that would show up to support her. She was really attractive, which made older men look like young teenage boys fanboying over her. I've had the privilege of
He don't
chatting with
look
Katie
young.
after her shows before, but this time I mustered up the courage to ask her out.
Hey, bruh,
Katie,
no.
It's me again. Jason, we met on several occasions after performances. I'm a big fan of your voice.
Thanks, Jason.
Don't be a simp,
I
yo.
think you're the best singer ever.
Oh my, you went too far.
Thank you.
I was wondering if we could potentially
Oh,
exchange...
Jason. All you men are alike. I bet you just want to see what I look like without my clothes, right?
No. I mean, yeah. Katie nonchalantly takes my cell phone and begins punching in her contact information. Holy crap, this is actually happening. I must be dreaming.
Here you go, Jason.
Lucky boy.
Definitely, baby. I mean, Kate. I mean,
What?
Katie.
Come on now,
As I was
bruh.
on my way home, I decided to be ballsy and give Katie a goodnight text. I then noticed she had given me a link to her OnlyFans page as opposed to her phone number. What the hell is this? Well, at least I might get to see some nudes. I've
Come
personally
on,
never
man.
used an OnlyFans before, but if there was going to be someone's account I was going to check out, it'd be Katie's. I eventually make it home and open up her page on my computer browser. A subscription of $10 a month? Netflix doesn't even charge that much. I
For real.
unfortunately didn't have the funds to purchase such things, but my curiosity was what put the nail in the coffin. I took out my credit card and shamefully typed in the details on the site. I was now officially subscribed to Katie's OnlyFans account. I
Why?
began
Why?
scrolling around,
Why?
seeing a lot of mature content throughout her page. I can honestly say it wasn't the most regretful decision I ever made, as I got to see a different side of Katie. Or should I say, a different side of my longtime crush. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Throughout the
Ew!
night, I continued to browse through more of Katie's content till it was time to head to bed. It'd been a couple of weeks since that whole ordeal occurred. I still worked as a cashier at Starbucks and made it a routine to go to the karaoke bar after work. Everything had pretty much been the same except I hadn't seen or heard about Katie since. I couldn't help but feel like I had some sort of role in Katie's sudden disappearance from the bar, so I decided to snoop around her OnlyFans once again. Later that night, I had Katie's OnlyFans open on my computer. The monthly subscription I had paid for previously was still in effect, so I could still view her content.
Alright.
There were 5 observations I accumulated right off the bat. The first observation was that her status said, active 5 minutes ago. I assumed she had lost interest in the singing gig and was pursuing the OnlyFans endeavor solely now. The second observation was that she began to wear sunglasses in all her recent photos. Interesting. The third observation was that her photos were being taken in an old wooden cellar, not the aesthetic bedroom that she once previously had. The fourth observation was that all her pre-existing content was deleted. Why the hell would she get rid of everything? The only thing left on Katie's page was 3 photos of her posing with sunglasses. The last observation was the one that struck me the most. I could tell her recent pictures were being taken by someone due to the shadow presented in the photos. Call me Sherlock Holmes if you will, but I had my suspicions that something just wasn't
Deep
right.
Web
I
series
decided to
too.
direct message Katie saying, "Hey, it's me, Jason from the karaoke bar. I'm not sure if you remember me, but I wanted to know why don't you perform there anymore?" About 10 minutes go by and I get no reply. She probably gets 1,000 messages. I bet she'll reply to this though. That's when I decided to bribe Katie by sending a convincing message saying, "Hey, if I tipped you $5, could you send me a video of yourself smiling on camera?" About a minute later, I surprisingly got a response from Katie showing a hidden video with an option of unlock for $5. I end up accepting the purchase, only to see a video of Katie wearing sunglasses. She just stood in one spot, not saying anything. I then heard a male voice in the background saying,
"Smile for the camera, you vermin!"
Katie then involuntarily puts on this bizarre and unnatural smile, almost like she was a cartoon character from a Disney movie. I felt really disturbed from what I was witnessing. I decided to continue the game of charades and say, "If I give you $5 more, could you send me a video of yourself kissing the friend you're with?" About 5 minutes had passed and I got no reply. I honestly thought Katie was done with my pathetic games until I got another message of a hidden video with a $5 price tag on it. I hesitantly unlocked the video, only to see a disturbing clip of Katie saying,
"He's not my friend! Don't ever say he's my friend, because he's not. He's more than that to me. He's my
What?
everything. He's my one and only love."
That's my good girl.
Yo, neck just got stabbed.
The young boy and some kissing action. Let's make his money's worth, shall we?
Ew!
I felt sick to my stomach. I then realized that the gentleman's appearance stood out to me like I recognized him from somewhere.
The bar.
I couldn't exactly pinpoint where I knew
The
him
bar.
from, but he definitely looked familiar to me. The man then said,
I bet you love to see Katie's beautiful eyes, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Oh, I'm gonna make this your best $5 ever spent.
That's when the man removed the sunglasses from Katie's face, revealing her eye sockets with both eyeballs missing. That's when I exited my web browser and immediately turned off my computer.
And
What the
you
hell was
can
that?
go
That was
call
wrong
the
on
cops.
so many levels. I decided to head to bed and call it a night.
Go
hoping
call
to
the
sleep
cops,
off the
homie.
nightmare I just witnessed firsthand. It's been a couple months since the incident had occurred. I haven't seen Katie's OnlyFans account since, as I assume she deleted it. Or should I say, that man in the video did. I haven't told anyone about this, and quite frankly, I don't know what to do. I still go to the karaoke bar with an optimistic attitude that one day I'll see Katie again.
Falling for you.
Hey!
I can't keep away. Are you listening?
I'm done with this video, bro.
Before you go, I want you to know that I'm down. Hey, kid, doesn't she have the prettiest eyes you've ever seen?
Yeah.
This video
True?
is brought to you by NordVPN.
No, it's not.
Spend a lot of time.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You can connect up to 6
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
shopping for Black Friday horror shorts party and use our coupon horror shorts party at checkout.
Guys,
with a no nonsense 30-day money back guarantee, why not give it a try? Take the next steps and protect yourself online by simply going over to NordVPN.
no. Sorry. Just we can't take sponsors like that because we don't even get copyrighted.
To digest this, and now I'm ready to share my story with the world.
What are you
I
saying,
wish
bro?
to remain anonymous, so for the sake of this story, my name will be Danny. The details of this story remain vivid, but somewhat foggy, as I try to reminisce on the distant memories that occurred
You done
a couple of years ago. It all started when me and my parents resided together in an old townhouse, which was located in a neighborhood notorious for having a high crime rate. I never liked living there, and neither did my parents, but it was the only thing that we could afford at the time. My parents were a little rough around the edges, considering they had both been through a lot in their younger years. My dad has had a few run-ins with the law, while my mom lost both her parents at a very young age. So seeing them edgy at times didn't faze me at all. Well, I'm doing my best, all right?
Can you do something else? What you're doing isn't working.
I'd like to see you do better.
Well, do better, damn it!
Check the date.
Hell up already. I'm tired of
Check the
hearing you
date.
nag all day.
You shut up, Mom.
Almost every night, I could hear the constant back and forth bickering that occurred for hours on end between my parents. They would always fight over what I assumed to be financial-related issues, which had only gotten worse over the years. My parents both didn't really make much money on their respective jobs, so hearing them argue was almost a daily occurrence.
Nope.
I was always scared that things would turn violent, especially with the way these two went at it. I remember one night, I was in my bed trying to induce myself to sleep by watching a couple of YouTube videos on my cell phone. I could hear the usual shouting match coming from the kitchen downstairs. It honestly sounded like they were at the point where they were going to be in a physical altercation. I pressed my ear against my bedroom door and could hear the distant bickering become more hostile between my parents. I could make out my mom saying,
If you don't get a real
Give me
job,
hiccups.
I'm taking Daddy and we're moving out.
"What in the hell are you talking about? He doesn't even like you."
Shut up! Shut up! Shut the hell up!
I remember hearing sounds of my mom opening up the kitchen drawers, which led me to assume she was searching for something sharp and potentially do the unthinkable.
Whoa!
That's
I thought
when
this
I
story
decided
was
to head
supposed to be
downstairs
about
and mediate the feud to hopefully put it to
Chuck E.
rest.
Cheese.
As I approached the kitchen, I could see my mom holding a huge knife in an overhand grip. The kind of grip that someone uses in preparation of stabbing someone.
How about you eat pepper, yo?
I could also see my dad holding one of the dining room chairs.
Bruh, that tastes good. Can you give me another one?
Defense mechanism.
What are you doing here, Danny? Didn't I tell you never to leave your room unless you have to use the washroom?
I'm sorry, Mom, but I heard you and...
Go to your room, you little turd!
Don't call him that.
Don't tell me what to do, mother.
Mom, please don't kill Dad.
I said go to your room, Danny.
Yeah, you said...
Leave Danny alone and put the knife away, Helen. That's when my mom began piercing the family portrait of us. Except she was only piercing the portion of my dad's face. Mom,
Why?
Stop!
Yeah, Mom,
Please,
stop.
Stop it!
Mom, stop it.
It's been a couple weeks after the whole saga had occurred.
Alright, bro. Put those things back in the
My
fridge.
parents ended up getting a divorce, which unfortunately left me to reside with my mother. The court unfortunately ruled that my mom would be in favor of getting custody of me due to my dad's criminal history with the law. I honestly contemplated on running away due to how much I dreaded living with her, especially with how toxic and controlling her behavior was. I would spend most of my time locked in my bedroom.
You don't ask Mom.
I couldn't live a normal life like the rest of the younger individuals in my neighborhood. Why in the hell do I have to live with her? Why couldn't I just live with Dad? He was always the better parent. I can't stand her. I wish she were dead.
Bad though.
What made this even worse was the fact that I had a curfew during my school days. I didn't even have time to join any after-school clubs.
What am I wiping down?
Teams due to the simple fact that I was too worried about
the shelves.
Home on time.
All right, I got you.
Even my mom locked me out of the house for several hours due to the fact that I was 5 minutes past my curfew.
No. I do it second. Cause after throw the wipes away.
Going to the local Chuck E. Cheese restaurant located down the street from my
Okay, there we go. Now we're into the Chuck E. Cheese stuff.
For those that aren't familiar with Chuck E. Cheese, it's a restaurant that has arcade games and playrooms for younger crowds such as myself. I enjoyed going there, as it would bring back fond memories of when me and my dad used to go. I usually went to Chuck E. Cheese every time it was my birthday. Just as a tradition my dad established when we all used to live together.
Oh,
okay. All of that is gone now.
All used to live together.
My mom took my entire childhood away from me.
Why?
Which I find equivalent to ripping my heart out of my chest.
Oh, so your dad dead?
Didn't want me going because she didn't want me to be reminded of my dad's
Whipping me
existence.
down.
The rules and restrictions I had to abide by really made it difficult to make any
no,
friends.
we don't.
Which put me in a dark state of mind for
you
the latter
do.
part of my life. There was one night where I decided to approach my mom and convince her to bring me to Chuck E. Cheese for my upcoming birthday.
Why? No.
I honestly cared more about Chuck E. Cheese than my actual birthday itself, which is why I ended up using it as an excuse
Oh, there's
to go
nothing
there.
in it. What's all this?
Mom, can we please go to Chuck E. Cheese for my...
No, Danny,
No, it's not.
But it's for my birthday.
No.
I anticipated the rebuttal my mom was going to throw at me, but that didn't stop me from being persistent with my request. After a few tears and relentless pleading, my mom eventually caved in and agreed to take me there on my birthday. The exhilaration of going to Chuck E. Cheese after all these months is honestly something I would compare to an inmate getting released from jail. I felt so excited, to the point where I didn't even care about anything else. Just me.
Give me the paper towel, boy.
My birthday eventually arrived.
My birthday.
It was time for me to finally visit Chuck E. Cheese once again.
Okay.
It was about the evening time, so the venue was usually packed to full capacity.
Guys, comment down below what your birthday is.
As I genuinely felt I was a kid in a candy shop.
I'm not even on stream yet.
I must be dreaming.
I'm on a YouTube video.
I immediately started playing the arcade
screen
games
recording.
while my mom wandered off to grab some food.
Alright.
I remember being so hungry, but at the same time so infatuated with every arcade game that was in front of me. I couldn't help but enjoy
Yes, they can.
countless games, as I knew this could be my very last
Once I
time
post
at
it, people can hear me.
That's when I felt a strange tap on my shoulder. I turned
What,
towards the
bruh?
direction of where I felt the tap. only to see a large Chuck E. Cheese rat mascot hovering over
I
me.
didn't do that.
I was a little alarmed that the mascot would approach me.
What?
Considering there were hundreds of guests.
Magada? Magada.
Hey,
What the god?
Chucky. The mascot didn't say anything. He just stood there staring at me with
Oh, it's
his
your dad.
big, elongated eyes. I noticed he had red stains on his costume, which I assumed to be pizza stains.
Oh no, that's blood.
Then I noticed the stains had transferred onto the shoulder area of my shirt from the tap he did earlier. I now knew that these were definitely not pizza stains. They had to be blood stains of some sort. Chucky? Is she gone? Yeah, she is. Here, take my hand, baby. I missed you, Dad. I missed you too, son.
Dang! You killed your mom? Well, he killed your mom. Bro, guys, comment down below who's your favorite, your mom or your dad? Don't be mad because you have no subscribers. Guys, my phone's in my pocket, so yeah.
This story happened to me on a Saturday night.
All
It
right.
happened when I was with my girlfriend, who we'll call Lisa for the sake of the story.
For the
I
sake
was sitting
of
in my
the
bed
story.
watching TV while Lisa was on her laptop working on a school report for her English class. It was due the following Monday, which kept her busy on the laptop for the majority of the weekend. My parents
said,
were
why
out
you
of
always
town,
hating
so
on
we
me,
had
bro?
the house to ourselves. I'd just like to point out that Lisa and I were polar opposites from each other.
Huh?
I say this because she was a goth who fantasized over dark and morbid kind of things. I was the complete opposite from that.
Why,
However,
bro?
our different personalities didn't stop us from pursuing a relationship with one another, as we'd been together
Yeah.
for about 4 months now.
And
I'd
we've been
also like to
together.
point out that Lisa was extremely socially awkward if she was talking to anyone other than myself. There was a time where I invited her over to a family dinner with my parents. Lisa was understandably a bit shy at first, but as the night progressed, it turned out to be less awkward than I anticipated.
Yeah, that
Near
sounds
the
about
end of
right.
dinner, my dad asked Lisa, "So Lisa, if you could have anything in the world other than Jack, what would it be?"
Oh my gosh, bro, Dad's simping.
I don't know if I feel comfortable answering that.
What do you mean? What else would you want other than my son?
Harold, stop it.
Harold, stop
You can
it.
tell us only if you want.
I could tell Lisa was getting uncomfortable about the impromptu interrogation
Yeah.
my parents decided to have by
Yeah.
the look on her face.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's complicated.
To be honest, I was a little taken back by that statement, as I thought I knew everything about her. I decided to chime in saying, what do you mean, Lisa? Things took a total 180 when Lisa says,
Don't you guys wish you could resurrect your dead loved ones?
Sure, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I would. My family
I
found
would.
Lisa quite bizarre since that day, but oddly enough, accepted her for who she was. Fast forward to now.
Yeah, accept people for
and that
who they
statement
are.
that Lisa made.
If I could.
I assumed she was out of her mind, but sadly,
What?
that
What am
didn't
I
stop
doing?
me from giving her a piece of my mind. I agitatedly said, "Fine, go see him then. It's not like I ever liked you."
What?
Lisa then gives me a death stare like she wanted to throw me off the balcony. I stare back at her while I casually take another. Remembered Lisa mentioning something about Todd passing away just before we dated. His cause of death was due. Todd was.
Stop it. Sweetie, you can tell us only if you want.
I could tell Lisa was getting uncomfortable about the impromptu interrogation my parents decided to have by the look on her face.
Well,
Oh, your girlfriend
It's
look
complicated.
ugly.
To
Psycho.
be honest, I was a little taken back by that statement.
She looks like my
because
friend
I thought I
AJ.
knew everything about her. I decided to chime in saying, what do you mean, Lisa? Things took a total 180 when Lisa says,
don't you guys wish you could resurrect your dead loved ones?
Sure, I mean, I guess I would. My family found Lisa quite bizarre since that day, but oddly enough, accepted her for who she was. Fast forward to now.
Yeah, always
and
accept
that
buddy.
statement that Lisa made would all make sense to me. Lisa was tired of the monotony of the report, so we decided to head to the balcony.
Huh?
I remember both of us being
I did.
of our minds while gazing out into the horizon. Midway through, Lisa offhandedly makes an odd remark saying,
It would be pretty cool if I could see Todd again.
Todd was Lisa's ex. I found this quite strange that she would say such a thing, considering the fact that we were both dating each other. I assumed she was of her mind, but sadly that didn't stop me from giving her a piece of my mind.
What?
I agitatedly said, "Fine, go see him then. It's not like I ever liked you." Was Lisa's ex. I found this quite strange that she would say such a thing, considering the fact that we were both dating each other. I assumed she was of her mind, but sadly that didn't stop me from giving her a piece of my mind. I agitatedly said, "Fine, go see him then. It's not like I ever..." She was of her mind, but sadly that way through, Lisa offhandedly makes an odd remark saying,
It would be pretty cool if I could see Todd again.
Todd was Lisa's ex. I found this quite strange that she would say such a thing, considering the fact that we were both dating each other. I assumed she was of her mind, but
It skipped by itself.
Didn't stop me from giving her a piece of my mind. I agitatedly said, "Fine, go see him then. It's not like I ever liked you." Lisa then gives me a death stare like she wanted to throw me off the balcony. I stare back at her while I casually take another... A long pause of awkward silence occurs, but then I had a nostalgic moment. I remembered Lisa mentioning something about Todd passing away just before we dated. His cause of death was due to undisclosed reasons I won't get into. Everything Lisa was saying all made sense now. She was just expressing that she wanted to see Todd again since he was no longer here with us. I attributed my lack of memory to being stuck in my mind, which helped make the mishap more plausible.
And
so
this story
I extend my arm
sucks.
to pass it to Lisa. She then slaps the out of my hand and aggressively says,
He was better than you anyway.
I had gotten into arguments with Lisa in the past, but I could tell she was at her boiling point this time. She then storms out of my place and immediately gets into her car. Despite being wrong in the situation, I stupidly shouted from the balcony saying, "Fine, have fun fishing on Tinder, loser!" She then flips me the bird and begins driving off into the distance. I eventually head back to my bedroom and continue to watch TV. About 5 minutes later, I couldn't help but feel guilty about what I did. I then decide to text Lisa saying, "Please come back to my house."
Don't text her now.
I also have a few places in one in case you forgot. A couple minutes go by and I get no reply. That's when I start becoming more anxious.
She
I kept
did.
contemplating whether I should call Lisa, but I didn't want to submit to the fact that I was begging for her forgiveness. I continued watching television.
She
That's when I
did.
noticed Lisa's laptop sitting on my computer desk. She had stormed off and obviously forgot to take it with her. I noticed that Lisa had left her school report still open on a Word document, so I decided to proofread it, thinking it would be my silly way of apologizing to her. The report was titled, "Be with your loved ones, even when they're dead." This wasn't that surprising, as I knew the kind of person Lisa was, but it was also disturbing due to the circumstances that had just occurred on the balcony.
Dang.
I skimmed through the report and find Lisa talking about a relationship and how she wasn't internally. I became more and more anxious the further I read into the report. She goes into detail about her past relationship with Todd and how she misses him tremendously. As I skim through more of the report, I come across a part where Lisa talks about being able to reconnect with Todd through a satanic blog she found online. To summarize what she said, it basically insinuated that you would have to go to the last spot where the person died and die the same way. That way you'll be able to reconnect with them in the afterlife. I begin panicking and call Lisa's cell phone.
Oh yeah, I knew it.
She picks up the phone and says,
What do you want?
In a voice full of disdain and hatred. I try to pretend like I knew nothing about
I knew
the
it.
report and say,
She gonna kill
"Please
himself.
come back. I'm sorry about everything that happened. I'm sorry about what I said.
There's no coming back from this, Jack.
Goodbye. Say
That's
goodbye.
when I heard the sound of the train honking from the distance. My heart stopped and I yelled, Lisa, where the hell are you?
Where I should have been all along.
Damn. That did not sound good at all.
I could hear the train getting louder and louder, like it was coming with a full head of steam towards her direction. I began shouting, Lisa, get the hell out of there! Lisa, please, I'm sorry! Desperately trying to stop her.
And Lisa did.
I knew she was about to do. Lisa, I'm sorry, okay? Get the hell out of there! Please! Oh, Lisa, please.
Lisa did.
I'm sorry. I'm
Stop
sorry.
crying. She gone.
Lisa, please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please come back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was such an awful boyfriend. I'm sorry, Lisa. She then said,
See you again, Todd.
No! No, Lisa! Oh, Lisa, please, I'm sorry.
Ooh, I hate to see what y'all seeing. Guys, what are y'all seeing? What are y'all seeing? My phone's waterproof. Oh, y'all seeing blurred out blood. Alright guys, we're gonna do 2 more guys and I'm gonna end this video. What y'all wanna see? This one?
Hello,
Harry Styles.
I'm Harry Styles.
Comment down below if y'all like me doing scary videos.
I live alone in a small house in Canada.
Oh.
And this all happened about 6.5 years ago. I opened my front door one morning to go and get some groceries and found the strangest thing waiting for me outside.
What?
Lying on my doorstep was a small USB flash drive. Almost stepped on the damn thing. Who'd put that there, I thought. It was just your generic USB stick. No label or anything. No way to know who it came from. Well, I did what anyone else would do. Took it inside and plugged it into my PC. The device was full of pictures. In fact, nothing but pictures. Dozens of them. I opened the first one and clicked through them in order. The first few were just shots from around town. General places that I recognized.
Oh.
The fourth image was taken on our town's busiest street.
All this stuff is actually adding
The
up.
street was full of people, but there was somebody in it that caught my attention immediately. Me. The image showed me in amongst the crowd, just minding my own business.
Oh,
Well, this was a
the
small
guy
town.
was there.
Was it just a coincidence that I was in the picture?
Oh, maybe this is
The
Katie.
image had been taken on the same day.
Maybe it's Katie.
Again, it was taken in our town. Again, I was in
Again.
it. The photographer was closer to me this time. Whoever had
How?
taken these pictures of me, I hadn't noticed them at the time.
How? How did you
Took
not?
several more pictures of me in various locations around town.
Okay. Whoa.
Something more chilling.
That one was
A photo
weird.
of a house.
What is this?
It was nighttime in the
What's
image,
this?
and the living room light was on.
Bag.
I clicked through to the next picture. It was another image of my house.
Nah,
this
she
time taken even closer.
Whoever it is.
Through the living room window, you could see me sitting on the couch, watching television. I could tell from the clothes I was wearing that it had been taken the night before. I had no idea that somebody had been outside.
Maybe they just trying to like.
I kept
Hey,
clicking through the images on the
you wanna
drive.
be a photographer?
Photo after photo of me inside my house, taken from just outside my window. Because it was so light inside and so dark outside, I was totally unable to see that somebody was watching me from out there. I couldn't see them, but they could see me, clear as day. Didn't even need to use the flash on their camera. After 20 or so photos of just me inside my house, there came a real curveball. An image taken from inside my
Huh?
hallway. The man, or woman, or whoever was taking these pictures of me had been inside my house the night before. There were photos of my living room, now lightless and empty, obviously taken after I'd gone to sleep. Photos of my kitchen, of my dining area, my stairwell, and several taken as the unknown person ascended my stairs towards where I was sleeping. My brain started to run wild with thoughts about who had been following me. Had I wronged someone in the past? Said the wrong thing to the wrong guy? Was this just some weirdo who'd decided to target me?
That's
Were they
probably
armed
some
when they
weirdo.
came to pay me a visit? Whatever the case, somebody had come inside my house at night and taken pictures of all of the rooms, including my bedroom. The second to last photo was of me, fast asleep in my bed, totally oblivious to the person in my home. The final image was just of a handwritten note, framed in close-up. The message on it simply read, "Never hide a spare key under your doormat."
Yeah.
I've since moved house.
Good job.
Depop is like an online
Woo!
thrift shop.
Yo, Drip is tough. Yo, music is tough.
This all took place a couple of years back. I was walking my dog through a local park late one night and decided to take a little break on one of the park benches. I sat down and immediately felt something under my butt. It was a USB flash drive, which had either been forgotten or abandoned by somebody. I waited around for maybe 5 minutes to see if somebody would come back and claim it. Nobody did, so I just put it in my pocket. Like I said, it was late at night, so the park's lost and found area was closed. I planned to head back there in the morning before work and hand it over. Maybe the owner might come by and collect it. Probably a student who had some work assignments on it, I figured. As I sat at home, my curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to take a quick look at what was on the USB. I plugged it into my computer and checked its contents. Strange. There was only one file on the USB. An Excel file of all things. Some poor schmuck must have lost this thing after its first use. The file was simply titled Little Black Book.
Whoa.
Needless to say, I opened the document. It was just a large collection of names, addresses, and numbers. Mr. X, Tudor Hill Drive, 52,750. Mrs. Y, Springfield Avenue, 47,300. Dr. Z, Deacon Street, 52,200, etc. The list ran on and on, probably 40 or 50 names and addresses in total. At least 25 of them had been highlighted in red. The rest were just in black. Strange. Why would someone go through the trouble of making an Excel file with all this information in it, then saving it onto an empty USB as the only file? Were these someone's clients? Someone's friends? I had no idea. And what were the numbers next to each name supposed to mean?
Like the square
They
feet
were
or
all
something?
in the same ballpark, between 30 and 60,000. And I decided to dig a little deeper and look up a few of the names and addresses, just to sate my curiosity, you know. No. I started with a couple of the names in black. And it looked like these really were real people and their real addresses. Okay. Still didn't give any indication about what the numbers meant, though. I looked up one of the names in red. Mr. X. That's when things took a darker turn. Mr. X was indeed a real person, and the address listed was indeed his, but he had passed away a few years back under mysterious circumstances. The same was true of Mrs. Y, Dr. Z, and all the other names listed in red on the document. They'd all perished, either under mysterious circumstances or through some sort of unfortunate accident. Starting to worry that this USB might have belonged to someone in the cleanup business, so to speak, I began to put the pieces of the puzzle together and figured I knew what the numbers next to each name meant. They were the amount that the people had been contracted for. This was a hit list. I immediately called up the authorities and handed the USB over to them, telling them where I'd found it and what the information pertained to. They took it from there, and I haven't heard anything else about it since. Had somebody left the USB on the bench intentionally for somebody else to come and collect? Or had it simply fallen out of the owner's pocket? I still don't know. Probably never will. But I'm glad that nobody came by that park bench during those 5 minutes I waited around. It was dark. The park was completely empty. And the owner or collector really wouldn't have wanted that USB to fall into somebody else's hands. Who knows what they might have done.
My mom died. I inherited $498 million. You are joking. I am 25. I am literally 25. Let's go grape picking with Lady Gaga. So I've been aging to kind of see what happens with that. And I haven't been able to find...
First, a little background information. I worked the night shift at a local gas station when I was 19. I was the only employee in the store.
Hold on, guys. I gotta text my mom real quick.
As usual. On Christmas Eve, I had to work the overnight, 10 p.m. into 6 a.m. into Christmas Day. It was a normal night. No customers, and my cleaning was almost finished. I had just got done eating and decided to go out.
Corpse husband? What the heck, yo? That is kind of weird, bro. I don't really like that. I don't think I should be watching Corpse husband. That's kind of weird, man. Does Corpse have a husband? I don't know. Ugh!
Welcome to Celebrity Pong League. There's a lot of great people playing on the show. They're all gonna get their ass whooped either way.
Oh, Post Malone shaved his head.
Reaction of a YouTuber named Joey Mac.
Welcome to...
This is the initial reaction of a YouTuber named Joey Mac 420 after experiencing a mysterious encounter while motorbiking in the mountains of California.
And it's all fun and games until a freaking ghost girl just comes out of nowhere.
He and his friend are out on a long bike trail with no one visible for miles and no reason for anyone to be out there with them. Everything is going fine until at one point the trail dips along the base of a mountain and runs parallel to a creepy section of woods.
Whoa.
Joey comes around a corner and is surprised to see this person approaching him. Someone who he's never seen before and yet who looks strangely familiar. He's so freaked out by the sight of someone all the way out here, a clear 45 miles from town, that he veers off the path and takes a look over his shoulder to make sure what he saw was real.
That is so creepy. Brennan's gonna freak out. Do I go back and look for him? What? Where did she come from?
She walks by, but something is really off about the way she looks to him. He can't tell what it is, but it scares him bad. A close-up shows some reasons why. She's walking straight ahead and doesn't turn to notice him at all. No wave or acknowledgement or anything. Last, she seems to be holding something. When his friend drives by a short while later, he says she behaved differently and ran straight at him. I think she appears to not be in the right mental state, since she was all by herself in the mountains walking a long distance without any shoes. That's when Joey remembers a missing persons report around this area from not too long ago, and I think this was very smart thinking on Joey's part. He checks the database and brings up this photo. Carly Lane Gousset. I know it's kind of hard to tell from this distance, but I do see some possible correlations between the person in this video and the person in these missing FBI photos. The hairstyle is similar and she seems to have the same high cheekbones. If I had to guess the age, I would say a teenager, much like Carly, who was 16 when she went missing, but overall it's too far away to say for sure if it's her or not. All of this bothers him enough to call the local sheriff, and I wanted to know if you thought this phone call is real.
I think I might have seen the girl.
Did you know the name of the person?
Yes, it's Carly Gousset.
The person on the other end sounds like a professional call dispatch based on the questions she has and the order she says them. First, she makes him clarify the address, which is what a real emergency operator would do.
Okay, do you know the cross street to Batista Canyon?
Then she asks for a clear description of the missing person in question.
Whoa.
Do you remember what color shirt and pants she was wearing?
And she wants to know if Carly was with anyone else.
And she was by herself.
It's a logical line of questioning that seems she's following a real procedure she was trained for, which makes me believe this call was not fake. Most convincing of all is the way the call ends. It seems professional and exactly like what a real law enforcement official would say.
And she was by herself.
Yeah, she was by herself. And she fits the description too. She's about 5'7".
So I think this is probably real, or at least he thought it could have been her, in which case he definitely did the right thing by calling in. Besides, Joey isn't the only one to have seen Carly. Someone once saw a particularly thin girl walk by his house near where she went missing. She was not paying attention to anything at all, just staring at the sky in a daze, much in the same way that this girl he saw today was staring straight ahead. Most mysterious of all, a second report that she was holding something that they couldn't identify, which matches what Joey saw. What I don't understand is how this person could be so out of it and yet survive on their own for over a year. She was last seen in October of 2018, and this video is from July 19th of 2019. I guess nothing came of his report because as of the time of my analysis, Carly is sadly still missing. One thing that has always creeped me out is the thought of being watched by someone who is interested in your every move and possibly recording it to watch over and over again, or even to post online. It's apparently easy to do and happens more frequently than you think. In early 2019, an Airbnb traveler named Max Vest rented this room to rest his head. Does it look normal to you? If so, you could be getting spied on tonight. Under a mirror is a small black camera positioned to watch you in bed. It's very small and easy to miss, but that's the whole entire point. And the black bottom of this plug-in deodorizer is also a spy camera positioned across from the dresser. And I don't think I would have noticed, to be honest, if it were me staying there. But just because you now know of two different types of spy cameras shouldn't make you feel anywhere near safe. Meanwhile, in a different hotel, one of these three objects on the table is a spy camera. Do you know which? Even if you guessed the lamp, I bet you didn't guess where. Last but not least, this man once spied on his female roommate for a long time, using a camera behind a curtain rod in her room. He's a tall man, but even he has to reach above to set it up. He lines up her closet and her bathroom in one frame, and satisfied with the position, takes his leave. Most people would hardly pay attention to the corner of their own room. How long do you think it would take before you noticed the camera, if at all? It would probably take me a long time. So if you travel a lot, then there is a chance this might have already happened to you, or if you live with someone you hardly know, they could use a number of different spy gadgets against you for the entire time you've been talking to them. And when that happens, they can either keep the video to themselves or spread it online. Pretty creepy to think about, right?
Yeah.
A British family seems to be haunted by a spirit they call Freddy. Unlike most other families with a lingering paranormal problem, they seem to have gotten used to being haunted for the most part and largely ignore Freddy, laugh at him, or otherwise treat him as if he's a bratty child. It's an unusual technique that's made for some interesting videos from 2017 to 2018.
Come on, Freddy. I know we call you Freddy, but we don't know what to call you yet. We like it.
I guess this ghost simply doesn't like to be addressed by the wrong name because nothing touches the can, and yet it makes a noise and goes flying. They never do call it Freddy again after this, at least not to its face. I don't see how this is faked because I don't see a string. In fact, I don't see a string in any of their videos, like this one for example. No string shows against the dark window as this phone lifts up and slams back down only when she tries to say hello.
Don't touch it. We don't have to touch it.
And later they turn the light on just to prove that it's not fake.
Come on. Put the light on. Put the light on. Look, the light is on. You can clearly see there is no fishing wire or strings.
If this isn't a ghost, then tell me how it's being done because I really don't know.
It's just hovering. Look at that.
Most of the activity seems to be happening in this living room. When they are all in the kitchen, stuff in the room always seems to move, almost like Freddy is trying to get them to come over here. Aside from the phone, this dog picture seems to be its next favorite object to animate and suspend in midair.
You'll be alright. Oh, yeah. I'm not lying, the picture is levitating.
Yo, that looks fun. I know it's not real, but like, I'm sure it could crack like that.
And place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was
I can't.
I suppose somebody could have been standing on a ladder off camera and using a string for the last video, but I don't see it. And there are other videos like this one where they show the full room. And look at that flashing red light. It looks like the ghost may have left them a voice message, which they unfortunately don't play. I would have really liked to have heard Freddy's real voice. Here they are on a different day, standing all the way on the other side of the house, and here the picture is bobbing up and down all on its own, while the curtains move about on their own. The windows are up, so it's not somebody running a wire from outside. There's just no easy explanation for this one. Then, to make matters even more confusing, the picture simply drops on its own as if the ghost is done playing with it. When the mother goes to pick it up, the overhead lamp starts swinging all on its own. Swinging lights are another tactic Freddy uses to try and drive them mad. It is one of the things that seems to honestly annoy the
like
mother,
a fly.
and that's probably why Freddy is always doing it so often. First, it swings back and forth, and then when that fails to get a reaction from them, it starts to move in small, nauseating circles. Before you say that the camera person must be pulling on it with a string, consider that there's clearly no string to be seen, and that the light over the living room, where no one is standing mind you, is doing the exact same thing. Plus, I really don't think they'd risk breaking the lamp by swinging it this hard themselves, and the more they ignore it, the harder the lights swing. Freddy gets so upset that he figures out how to express his anger in a new way.
The door, The door. Look at that. The door's never done that, ever. Wow.
Nobody touches the door at all. Nobody is anywhere near that part of the house. At 49 seconds is when you should be able to see a string connected to the door. But even at half speed and zoomed in, no string is to be found. It's truly closing by itself. And in this window, where objects are always moving, stands the outline of Freddy. Some videos seem much more easy to explain than others. Somebody could be shaking the table from underneath.
What? The table's moving. Alright, stop that now. Look at the cat, look at the cat.
This man, Freddy, funny.
While other videos seem unexplainable even years later, I would have liked to have seen the other side of this picture to see if they were using high-powered magnets, but I guess we'll never get the chance. I find it interesting that Freddy seems to be confined to the kitchen and living room areas. Something bad must have happened here to confine it to the...
I have one fear. And that's like watching scary stuff by myself. I don't like doing scary stuff by myself. But I
these
did.
areas of the house.
So
Perhaps its anger will one day allow it to explore the rest of the home. In the meantime, they don't know what it is or what it's trying to tell them, and they don't really seem to care. And their indifference only seems to make Freddy grow more determined to grow stronger and show them his true form. There have been some odd cemetery happenings that have been freaking me out lately. Weird occurrences that I hope don't signify a new trend. Take this video from 539 Productions for example. He's walking around the graveyard for fun as he tends to do, and he goes all the way back to the oldest row of markers, ones that border the forest. Right next to this one is a mysterious opening that looks like it goes all the way down, presumably 6 feet under. To clarify, it's not the right size for someone to go down into, but rather the right size for someone to squeeze up through, as if someone who had been buried recently had clawed their way to the surface. I know it sounds far-fetched, so maybe it's just an animal den like 539 Productions suggests. At least I hope so. But when he finds another hole at a completely different graveyard, it really starts to make you wonder what's going on. I mean, the hole is the exact same size and the exact same placement as before. And again, it looks just wide enough for a person to squeeze through. And when you look at videos like this one, where a man apparently smashes through the casket at his own ceremony in Brazil.
You cheated on your wife. You need to lie about that. That'll get you going back 9 spaces, so probably don't want to lie about that. Alright, your daughter is 6 months pregnant. You gotta kick her out. She's gotta learn. But that's probably a bad idea, because you don't learn by being...
It starts to become a little more believable that this scenario could happen while underground. Look at the patch on this government agent's sleeve. These don't look like regular police to me. After a while, they back away and seem reluctant to touch him, which makes me wonder why. And finally, this is one of the more recent graveyard videos to go viral. Family and friends gather around. A man named Elliot who passed away days ago. Suddenly, he sits up at 13 minutes and looks around, stunned. This video looks like it was set up because I'm pretty sure he's breathing at 10 minutes and 2 seconds, well before he supposedly comes back to life. But just because I don't believe this video is real doesn't mean it's not creepy to think about. And it also doesn't disprove the other strange graveyard sightings. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1.
Dylan is chillin'. I'm gonna look that up.
Letchworth Village used to be a collection of 130 mental asylums, built 2 hours from Brooklyn, a place where unwanted people in the early 1900s New York were taken to be forgotten, never to be visited, never to be removed. Atrocities were inflicted daily upon patients unable to make sense of what was happening to them or to defend against it. With a ratio of 3 nurses to every 80 patients, there simply wasn't enough staff to keep everyone well fed or even alive. Mealtimes were a mad scramble in which a handful of nurses had to shovel food down patients' throats, often against their will. Some didn't survive. Their bodies were branded with a number and taken to a cemetery in a nearby forest. Letchworth Village did not shut down until 1996, 85 years of suffering total. Now, after 100 years after its creation, the 130-building mega asylum has rotted down to only a few of the most haunted sites left standing. Areas full of activity that a paranormal explorer named Angelo wants to document. On March 2nd of 2020, Exploring with Angelo enters one of the only buildings left standing. Shadow figures watch from a distance as they cautiously make their way through. Apparitions who are there one moment and gone the next. And it isn't until they begin walking up the stairs that the creepy noises begin. Sounds like doors opening while both of them are standing in place.
That basement might have been housing the warden. That basement might have been housing the warden.
Or this low croak right behind them at 4 minutes and 46 seconds.
That's weird.
Yo, guys.
That's weird.
Or when they get to the top and find the doors wide open leading into the dark forest. So if this door is already open, then explain this.
Glad these stairs are all made of metal.
Dylan is chilling.
This goes to a road.
But it's supposed to stood.
done ballet?
I used to be a stripper.
You know that.
Just need to use the brake to stop.
The brake?
I got Instagram, right?
Well, how about a super cute alien babe landing right in your arms? Down to Earth is a webcomic series on Webtoon. It stars our protagonists Cade, a 24-year-old cashier who hates his job, and Zeta, an alien from outer space. It's okay, that caught me off guard the first time too. But let me explain. Cade lost his girlfriend a little while back and is still feeling the pain of that. To cope with this, he starts dating a few girls throughout the month, but his head, and more importantly his heart, are clearly not there for it. And his work life isn't exactly helping, because he's got a manager that can be a little, annoying at times. Feeling that quarter-life crisis kick in, Cade isn't quite sure what he's going to do. That is, until an alien spaceship crash lands in his backyard. Yeah, that actually happened. And what's better than an alien ship crashing in your yard? Well, how about a super cute alien babe landing right in your arms? If you're not a bit jealous at this point, then something's wrong with you. Using her alien powers, Zeta absorbs a bit of knowledge from Cade to learn our language and quickly introduces herself. She explains that she was seeking out a new life on Earth, but didn't exactly stick the landing, if you know what I mean. Cade agrees to let her stay with him for now, but only if she follows 3 simple...
The door somehow creaks open without moving. It sounds like it's being pulled open from straight ahead, and yet nothing is there. Here's the door at 5 minutes and 6 seconds when the sound happens, and here it is again at 5 minutes and 50 seconds after the sound. It's open at the exact same angle down to the degree. They didn't touch it. They step through and turn around to look at the door from outside. They turn out their light to see if they pick up anything. Sure enough, these 2 beady eyes reflect on the wall despite there being no lights of theirs turned on. At 6 minutes and 25 seconds, they hear and see something jump across the camera. When they turn their lights back on, it's gone. They explore a few other rooms, and when they retrace their steps, the phantom doorway opens once more.
I just heard it again. Yeah, I heard it too. Whatever, just keep going.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I can't record anymore because I recorded like an hour of stuff, and I have to delete this recording after I post it on YouTube. So guys, stay tuned for this recording to come. Alright, love you guys. Peace.